Australian students, Australian international students, I am talking to you. You have biggest news. This is absolutely good news after so much trouble time you had in Australia for 2024. If I will refer, 2024 is the in the immigration history of Australia, painful time for Australian international students. I am not telling, Australian universities are telling. Australian universities told that over visas are refused by Australian Immigration Department, and universities are confirming that those students' visas, which students' visas were refused, who was 100% absolutely right candidates for Australia, and they had no any mistake. This was little a bit campaign also between universities and immigration department, but now finally the capping bill which government was making to restrict more Australian international students, and you know that refusals to the non-genuine students never matter, refusal to the fake students never matter, refusal to the fake consultants never matter, refusal from the fake colleges who are in Australia never matter, they deserve, but refusal to the top A plus grade, the financial documents okay, their parents documents okay, each single and everything okay, no refusal point. Your country is not good for us, your country has political instability, mean you are very good human, you are highly qualified, we admit. Your SOP, statement of purpose, is okay. Your GST, your intention to go back to your home country is okay, we admit. Your admission to the university, we admit. University is satisfied, we admit. University assessed your interview, a very long interview normally conducted by university officer, because admission to the University of Australia is huge difficult. There was one era in 2023, in 2022, in 2021 when there is a university admission 100% chance, mean 150% chance. If you had COE of Australian University, it means you are possessing Australian student visa. In 2024, history is broken. History is broken. Immigration history of Australia is broken. I don't think this time will come again that universities visas maximum refused by Australian Immigration Department. That's why universities chancellor, universities directors, they were meeting with officers, immigration officers, and they were telling that when we had assessed, we have better assessment system, we can filter genuine students from throughout the world. Our rating has been decreased, our ranking has been decreased. This is Australian educational deterioration. Remember, the economy of Australia and Canada depends upon the students' fees, and that is technically business as well, along with quality education. Australia is renowned destination of international students, but this time Australian students are not much switching towards the universities of Australia. They are thinking our visa will be refused, and they will just write copy paste, you are good, your education is good, you are much qualified, you are very expert, and you deserve Australian education, but just because of your country, you belong to Asia, you belong to India, you belong to fill in the blank, your country is poor and your country leaders are unstable, and we are giving you punishment. Is this in any international law? I cannot understand. Is that in any international law? I don't know why immigration, Australian immigration is one of the top quality oriented immigration system, in which quality officers present, which I remember that they are so qualified and they are so psychological individual. They just see papers and they can assess that this man deserve Australian visa or not, but I am not able to understand writing such refusal from such Department of Immigration, who is the department that other departments of Canada, USA, UK imitate Australian Immigration Department. A points-based system of Australian Department is still very successful. There were two immigration systems in the world who are ranked very high. Number one, Canadian immigration system. Number two, Australian immigration system. And Canadian immigration system these days, this era in which anti-migrant wave is circulating like cyclone throughout the world. It's starting from United Kingdom, moving to Ireland, moving to Europe, and then US. Donald Trump won due to illegal control. Migration was the topic, anti-migrant was the topic, and then come back to Canada, in which Prime Minister Justin now giving statement against migrants and telling that you go back to home country please, because my survival as a prime minister looking difficult. I may not be able to survive up to 2025 if I want to win election in 2025 once again, and if I want to stay as a prime minister for just some months, even I lose election in 2025, I need to give a statement. He has so pressure from Canadian citizens, from opposition leaders, and from the other societies of the Canada. But Australia immigration system in this in flooding anti-migrant wave still surviving. I really appreciate, but these refusals were definitely hitting Australian immigration system, and we were guiding that please give genuine refusal reason so that those students at least can admit that I have mistake and I am not eligible to study in Australia. If one person is qualified by all way and you checked his all documents, university checked all documents, and you are writing you are okay, but your country is not okay. At least you say your father is not okay, that's acceptable. That student will say, okay, my father job is not okay, my father bank statement is fake, no issue. They deserve such individuals. But we go back to the status which I want to discuss in this clip regarding the capping bill of international students. This government technically has to go in elections like PM Justin in 2025. Similar situation is there, almost copy and paste of Canada. Australian elections are upcoming, and Canadian PM, very respected individual, very famous individual, and very sensible individual, technically looking that I deserve the votes of Australian citizens. Australian citizens and US citizens, Canadian citizens, I make comparison, they all thinking at same level. They all thinking at same level, and Donald Trump won because of US citizens. Because Australian Prime Minister knew this thing, that I will win election just because of Australian citizen. If Australian citizen will not vote me, I will not become the Prime Minister. So why not I make Australian citizens more happy? What the Australian citizens are claiming? Australian citizens are claiming there is a migration burst. There is a migration explosion. Mean that you, like Canada, like USA, like UK, are allowing more migrants which are not much required into our country, and they are just going in population explosion, due to which housing crisis, which is genuine thing. I'm not telling there is no housing crisis in Australia, in Canada, because populations are increasing and housing crises are at Australia also. I think Canada, Australia are synergistic in this problem. Both are sharing housing crisis problem. But he knew this thing, that Canadian citizens don't like migrants, so I need to cut migrants. There were two options for Canadian Prime Minister which I analyzed, that he could stop skilled workers at extreme level, and PM Justin did that. PM Justin now stopped skilled workers, and now he thinks that skilled workers will be less allowed into the Canada. But I think skilled workers raised the economy of the Canada, because there are some right selected. I'm not talking about non-genuine, the genuine skilled workers which are exactly having true qualification with true point system with true assessment and deserving individuals, intelligent mind, IQ level high. That is a very express and very quality express entry program of Canada. The doctors qualified, they are marvelous in Canada. Reports are coming, they are super doctors and they are better doctors even than Canadian citizens. I think Prime Minister of Australia thought that skilled workers I will reduce, but never mean I will reduce to extreme level, because they are raising our economy. And also one thing more, that some companies of Australia are truly writing letters to the Australian Immigration Department and Australian government that we are running just because of overseas workers. One female CEO of construction company who had agreement with Australian government when she was making houses for Australian citizens, and look at that, Australia is suffering housing crisis, and she was to deliver many houses to the government in the coming months. She was talking that I will not make houses if you will not allow me to invite skilled workers, masons, laborers from Asian countries. Look at that. Therefore, Australian Prime Minister thought that I cut the students. It was also very risky, because that's why the immigration department was refusing visa. You understand? Now, one capping bill was introduced, and that capping bill was refused by Parliament. That's the news which I told in this clip. And this is biggest news. This is a very good news. I think now there is a U-turn of Australian government and Australian immigration system. And this capping bill, in which students will be more restricted to enter into Australia and more refusals will be upcoming, would have been upcoming if this capping bill was approved in the Parliament of Australia. Now this capping bill, sensible way, because Parliament members are educated. They are very educated people. They knew the importance of the students. They knew that as quality students when come into Australia, they got master's degree, bachelor degrees with the skills they learn from the universities, from top ranked universities of Australia, and they work in the top companies. And the past experiences are telling parliaments that most of the people who were businessmen, most of the people who are successful Australian nationals, they were students, and they had very significant role in raising economy of Australia. The need is to filter between fake and genuine immigrants. Thank you very much.